December 31st, 2024, New Year's Eve service at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta. Pastor Jamal Bryant steps to the pulpit, but he's not there to preach about salvation or new beginnings. He's there to address the internet. The other day, the internet went crazy about a dress my wife had on, Bryant tells his congregation. Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that this was the largest fundraiser for HBCUs in the country. The dress in question? A black and flesh-tone gown with sheer lace panels that Dr. Karri Turner Bryant wore to the 2025 UNCF Atlanta Mayor's masked ball on December the 20th. Critics called it inappropriate, sheer, and unbefitting of a first lady. But Bryant wasn't having it. I bought the dress, and I like it. I don't care whether you like it or not. She ain't married to y'all. She married to me. The sermon went viral instantly, reigniting debates about modesty, misogyny, and the impossible standards placed on women in ministry. Today we're breaking down the whole controversy, Jamal Bryant's fiery defense, and what this says about the Black church in 2025. Part 1. Who are Jamal Bryant and Dr. Karri Turner? 2.5 minutes. Before we dive into the dress drama, let's talk about who these people are. Jamal Harrison Bryant is 53 years old and the senior pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Stonecrest, Georgia, a megachurch with thousands of members. He's one of the most well-known pastors in the country, but his reputation is complicated. Bryant has been embroiled in scandals for years, most notably his highly publicized divorce from Jamal Bryant, a star on Bravo's The Real Housewives of Potomac. Jamal and Giselle were married from 2002 to 2009, and they have 3 daughters together. Grace, 20, and twins Angel and Adore, 18. Their marriage ended after Jamal admitted to infidelity, a fact that has been discussed extensively on RHOP. Giselle has been open about the pain of that betrayal, and the public nature of their divorce has followed Jamal for over a decade. But in May 2024, Jamal announced his engagement to Dr. Karri Turner during a Sunday service at New Birth. Sometimes your blessing will be right in front of your eyes, and you don't even know, he said from the pulpit. An amazingly beautiful woman, an amazingly brilliant woman. Last year, she graduated with her doctorate. And I saw her walk across that stage and get her doctorate. And the Lord said, "You big dummy, what are you waiting on?" Dr. Karri Turner Bryant is not just a pastor's wife. She's a doctor of ministry with a Master of Divinity degree. She serves as an associate pastor and is deeply involved in ministry herself. She's also unapologetically herself, refusing to conform to traditional expectations of what a first lady should look like. And that's exactly what makes her polarizing. On November 14, 2024, Jamal and Karri were married in a lavish ceremony at the Waldorf Astoria in Atlanta. The wedding itself was unconventional. Instead of a traditional white dress and black tux, Karri wore a custom pink crystal-embellished jumpsuit with a flowing chiffon train, and Jamal wore a deep green sequin suit. For the reception, Karri changed into a white-fitted gown, reversing the tradition of wearing white for the ceremony. "The one thing I love about me is I'm always going to show up as me," Karri wrote on Instagram. "I dress for me, LOL, and now my man, not people." From day one, it was clear that Dr. Karri Bryant was not going to play by the rules. And on December 20th, 2024, that became a national conversation. Part 2. The dress and the backlash. 3 minutes. On December 20th, 2024, Jamal and Karri Bryant attended the 2025 UNCF Atlanta Mayor's masked ball at Signia by Hilton Atlanta. The event was a formal, high-profile fundraiser for the United Negro College Fund, one of the most important organizations supporting historically Black colleges and universities. The ball raised an incredible $4 million, the largest fundraiser for HBCUs in the country that year. Dr. Karri Bryant arrived in a stunning gown. The dress was black with flesh-tone sheer lace panels that created an illusion effect. The bodice was strapless and cleavage revealing, with lace flowing down to a large black bow around her legs. The bottom of the dress billowed into a mermaid-style skirt made of black satin. She completed the look with sheer black gloves, matching stiletto sandals, and an evening bag. Her strawberry blonde hair fell in waves around her shoulders. Karri posted photos and video clips of herself and her extremely dapper husband on Instagram, set to Eartha Kitt's classic song, C'est si bon. She praised the event, the ballroom, and the beautiful, brilliant Black excellence everywhere. It should have been a celebration of a successful fundraiser and a glamorous night out. But the internet had other plans. Within hours, the comments started rolling in. Critics called the dress sheer, inappropriate, and unbefitting of a first lady. Some accused Karri of trying to be sexy instead of modest. Others questioned why a pastor's wife would wear something so form-fitting and revealing. The comments ranged from concerned to downright nasty. First Lady of the Night, one headline read, mocking Karri's fashion choice. Another comment said, "You're beautiful, but this ain't it." Still another wrote, "The filters are going crazy. You're already beautiful. Please stop." The criticism wasn't just about the dress. It was about Karri herself, her body, her choices, and her refusal to fit into the box that people expected. But here's the thing. The dress wasn't sheer. It was flesh-colored with black lace, creating an optical illusion. And it was worn to a gala-style fundraiser, not to Sunday morning worship service. Context matters. But context didn't stop the outrage. For 10 days, the internet debated, dissected, and judged. Karri didn't respond publicly. She let the noise happen. But her husband? He had something to say. Part 3. Jamal Bryant's fiery defense, 3.5 minutes. On December 31, 2024, during New Birth Missionary Baptist Church's New Year's Eve service, Pastor Jamal Bryant addressed the controversy head-on, and he did not hold back. "I needed to get this straight. I needed to deal with it head-on," Bryant began, "because the other day, the internet went crazy about a dress my wife had on. Now they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down. They never said anything about how this was the largest fundraiser for HBCUs in the country." The congregation erupted in applause. Bryant was just getting started. "The dress was not see-through. The dress was flesh-colored," he said, correcting the narrative that had been circulating online. "But because you ain't never been nowhere and ain't never been exposed to nothing, y'all don't like this." Translation: the problem isn't the dress. The problem is your lack of sophistication, exposure, and taste. Bryant was calling out the critics' provincialism, suggesting that people who had actually attended formal events and galas would understand that this was appropriate attire for the occasion. Then came the moment that everyone is still talking about. Bryant looked directly at the camera and said, "I bought the dress, and I like it. I don't care whether you like it or not. She ain't married to y'all. She married to me." The church went wild. People stood up, clapped, and cheered. Dr. Karri Bryant, sitting in the congregation, smiled and nodded, visibly emotional. Bryant wasn't just defending the dress. He was defending his wife, her autonomy, and her right to make her own choices. "Wear your dress, Carisha," Bryant said, using her middle name. It was a tender moment, a public affirmation of love and support, and it was exactly what Karri needed to hear. After the service, Bryant posted a clip of his remarks on Instagram. The post quickly racked up over 50,000 likes. In the caption, he redirected attention to the issues that truly matter. The dress issue was dealt with last night at New Birth MBC. Now we must address Black unemployment, protection for the undocumented, healthcare for the underserved, and access to higher education. By the way, over 100 people got saved last night, and over 1,000 kids were in our youth program. Dr. Karri Bryant commented on the post, her gratitude pouring out. "I love you, baby. Thank you. Not just for me, but for every woman who has experienced what I continue to walk through. Your words have been like a healing salve to my heart and your arms like a warm bath. Not a day passes that you don't affirm who I am and how much you love. You are him. Thank you for always covering me." The internet was divided. Some people applauded Bryant for standing up for his wife and calling out the misogyny and double standards that women in ministry face. Others criticized him, arguing that as a church leader, he should hold his wife to a higher standard of modesty. But one thing was clear, Jamal Bryant wasn't backing down, and neither was Dr. Karri. Part 4, the double standards and misogyny, 3 minutes. The controversy over Dr. Karri Bryant's dress is about so much more than a gown. It's about the impossible standards placed on women in ministry, particularly Black women. For decades, the role of First Lady in the Black church has been defined by unwritten rules. Cover your shoulders, cover your chest, cover your knees. Wear modest, conservative clothing that doesn't draw attention to your body. Be seen but not heard. Support your husband without overshadowing him. And above all, don't give anyone a reason to question your morality. But these expectations aren't biblical. There's no verse in the Bible that says a pastor's wife must dress a certain way. The oft-cited 1 Timothy 2:9-10 talks about respectable apparel and modesty, but those are principles, not dress codes. And they're certainly not limited to women in ministry. Yet somehow, first ladies are held to a standard that no one else is. Meanwhile, male pastors wear designer suits, expensive watches, and fly in private jets without facing the same level of scrutiny. When Creflo Dollar asked his congregation for $65 million for a private jet, the outrage was about the money, not his clothing. But when Dr. Karri Bryant wears a flesh-toned gown to a fundraiser, suddenly the internet has opinions about her modesty and spirituality. The double standard is exhausting. And it's not new. Other prominent Christian women have faced similar criticism. Gospel singer Erica Campbell was dragged for wearing form-fitting dresses. Actress and singer Megan Good was criticized for her wardrobe choices after marrying a pastor. Gospel artist Jacqueline Carr faced backlash for her fashion. The pattern is clear. Women in visible ministry roles are constantly judged, policed, and told that their worth is tied to how conservatively they dress. But here's the thing. Dr. Karri Bryant isn't just any first lady. She's a doctor of ministry. She's an associate pastor. She's a woman with her own calling, her own voice, and her own sense of style. And she refuses to be put in a box. In an interview on the Hardly Initiated podcast in August 2024, Karri discussed her views on the Proverbs 31 woman, a passage often held up as the ideal for Christian wives and mothers. In Christendom, she has been made the template. She is this iconic figure. She's a mother. She's all these wonderful things, Karri said. While I honor, very much so, and respect the Proverbs 31 woman, I think there are some things about her that can be a little antiquated. She explained that not every woman will marry or have children, making this ideal unrealistic and unattainable for many. Karri's willingness to challenge traditional interpretations of Scripture and push back against outdated gender norms makes her a target, but it also makes her a trailblazer. She's redefining what it means to be a first lady in the 21st century, and not everyone is comfortable with that. Part 5, The Bigger Picture, Church Culture. In 2025, 2.5 minutes. The controversy over Dr. Karri Bryant's dress is a microcosm of the larger tensions within the Black church. On one side, there are traditionalists who believe that the church should uphold conservative values, including strict dress codes for women. On the other side, there are progressives who argue that the church needs to evolve, embrace diversity, and stop policing women's bodies. Jamal Bryant himself is a controversial figure. His past infidelity, his high-profile divorce from Giselle Bryant, and his tendency to make headlines for reasons that have nothing to do with the gospel have made him a polarizing leader. Some people see him as a flawed but sincere man of God who is trying to do better. Others see him as a hypocrite who preaches one thing and lives another. But in this instance, Bryant did something that many pastors refuse to do. He publicly defended his wife. He called out the double standards. He acknowledged the misogyny that women in ministry face, and he made it clear that his wife's worth is not determined by what she wears. The response to his defense has been mixed. Some people praised him for being a supportive husband. Others accused him of enabling inappropriate behavior. But the conversation it sparked is important. Why are we more concerned about what a woman wears to a fundraiser than the $4 million raised for HBCUs? Why do we scrutinize women's bodies but give men a pass? And why do we expect first ladies to conform to standards that have nothing to do with the gospel? These are questions the church needs to answer, because the next generation is watching, and they're tired of the hypocrisy. Closing, 1.5 minutes. At the end of the day, this story isn't really about a dress. It's about power, control, and the ways that women in ministry are policed and judged. Dr. Karri Bryant wore a beautiful gown to a formal fundraiser, and the internet lost its mind. But she didn't back down. And neither did her husband. Jamal Bryant's defense of his wife was public, passionate, and unapologetic. He made it clear that Karri is married to him, not to the internet, and that outside opinions don't matter. Whether you agree with his approach or not, the message was powerful. Women in ministry deserve the same grace, autonomy, and respect that men receive. The Black church is at a crossroads. It can continue to cling to outdated gender norms and police women's bodies, or it can evolve, embrace diversity, and focus on what truly matters. The choice is ours. As for Dr. Karri Bryant, she's still wearing her dresses, still preaching the gospel, and still refusing to fit into anyone's box. And honestly, that's exactly what the church needs. What do you think? Was Dr. Karri Bryant's dress inappropriate? Or is this just misogyny and double standards? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.